There is a dangerous trap that high performers, founders, and dedicated parents almost always fall into. It's a trap created not by failure, but by success. It's a prison built by your own competence. I call it the competence trap. It starts innocently. You're good at what you do, really good. You deliver results faster and better than anyone else. So people start bringing you their problems. At first, it's a sign of respect. You become the go-to person, the fixer, the one who can handle anything. You solve a problem for a team member and it feels good. You make a key decision for your department and it saves time. You handle every detail of the family vacation and it's perfect. But slowly, without you even realizing it, you are building a system that is entirely dependent on you. Every question, every dispute, every minor decision flows to your desk. Your reward for being the most capable person in the room is that you are now responsible for everything in the room. You have become the bottleneck. You're working longer hours than anyone else. You're drowning in a sea of small, urgent tasks that prevent you from doing the deep, strategic work you're actually meant to do. Your team isn't growing because they're not empowered to make their own decisions. And you are exhausted, frustrated, and headed straight for burnout. You are the engine of the car, but you are also the emergency brake, pulled on at the same time. If this feels familiar, if you feel like you are the single point of failure in your own successful system, then you need to hear the story of the first and perhaps greatest management consultant in history. His name was Jethro, and the advice he gave his son-in-law, Moses, is the timeless protocol for escaping the competence trap and learning the single most important skill of any true leader: the art of strategic delegation. This isn't just a nice idea. This is a fundamental law of scalable systems. And the case study, recorded in the 18th chapter of the book of Exodus, is a perfect blueprint. If you are ready to stop being a bottleneck and start being a builder, hit that like button. We're about to fix your workflow. Let's set the scene. Moses is at the peak of his influence. He has successfully executed the most incredible corporate turnaround in history. He has led the entire nation of Israel, a startup of millions of people, out of the oppressive monopoly of Egypt. He has navigated a series of unprecedented logistical and competitive challenges. He is the undisputed founder, CEO, and chief visionary officer. His father-in-law, Jethro, a wise leader in his own right, comes to visit him in the wilderness. And the first thing Jethro does is the first thing any good consultant does. He doesn't talk. He observes. He sits and watches Moses' daily workflow. The text says, "The next day Moses took his seat to serve as judge for the people, and they stood around him from morning till evening." Let's be clear about what is happening. Millions of people, and one man is personally adjudicating every single dispute, from a major property rights issue to a minor disagreement between neighbors. Every problem, big or small, has one destination: the desk of the CEO. Jethro watches this all day. He gathers the data. That evening, he initiates the consulting engagement. He asks a simple diagnostic question: what is this you are doing for the people? Why do you alone sit as judge, while all these people stand around you from morning till evening? Moses' answer is the classic justification of every micromanager, every overworked founder, every parent who does everything themselves. He says, because the people come to me to seek God's will. Whenever they have a dispute, it is brought to me, and I decide between the parties and inform them of God's decrees and instructions. Listen to the logic. It sounds noble. It sounds responsible. It's also completely wrong. He is essentially saying, I have to do it all myself because only I can do it right. I am the direct line to the head office. I am the only one with the knowledge and authority. He has defined his job as being the chief problem solver. And Jethro, having seen the system in action and heard the flawed rationale, delivers a diagnosis that is direct, brutal, and absolutely necessary. He says, what you are doing is not good. Let that sink in. He doesn't say, you're working so hard. He doesn't say, it's amazing how much you do. He says the system you have designed is fundamentally broken. He continues, you and these people who come to you will only wear yourselves out. The work is too heavy for you. You cannot handle it alone. Jethro identifies the two key consequences of a bottlenecked system. First, the leader burns out. You will wear yourselves out. You cannot sustain this pace. Second, the people become frustrated and unproductive. These people will wear themselves out. They spend their entire day just waiting in line for a decision. Their own productivity is crippled by their leader's inability to delegate. The competence trap doesn't just exhaust the leader. It infantilizes the team. It creates a culture of dependency where no one learns to solve their own problems. This is the moment of truth for any leader. Can you handle this kind of direct feedback? Can you accept that your greatest strength, your competence, has created your greatest weakness? Moses, to his incredible credit, does not get defensive. He listens. And Jethro, having delivered the diagnosis, now provides the strategic recommendation. He lays out a clear, simple, and brilliant framework for organizational design. It is a masterclass in scalable leadership. He says, listen now to me, and I will give you some advice. Here is the Jethro principle, broken down into 3 parts. Part 1. Redefine the leader's core function. Jethro tells Moses, you must be the people's representative before God and bring their disputes to him. He is telling him to focus on the high-level, strategic work. Your job is to manage the relationship with head office. Your job is to handle the vision, the core principles, the culture. Then he says, teach them his decrees and instructions, and show them the way they are to live and the duties they are to perform. Your second job is to train your people, to create the systems, the playbooks, and the protocols that allow others to make good decisions without you. A leader's primary role is not to be the answer key. It is to create the answer key and distribute it to the entire organization. You are a teacher and a strategist, not a problem solver on an assembly line. Part 2. Build a tiered system of empowered leaders. This is the core of the framework. Jethro says, but select capable men from all the people, men who fear God, trustworthy men who hate dishonest gain, and appoint them as officials over thousands, hundreds, 50s, and 10s. This is the invention of the org chart. It is a system of tiered delegation. Notice the selection criteria. He doesn't say, find the most skilled or find the most experienced. He says, find men who are capable, trustworthy, and have high integrity. The first filter for leadership is character, not just competence. Then he defines their role. Have them serve as judges for the people at all times. He is telling Moses to give away his authority, to empower these new leaders. Part 3. Establish clear escalation protocols. A system of delegation only works if there are clear rules of engagement. Jethro provides them. He says, let them judge all the simple cases themselves, but have them bring every difficult case to you. This is a brilliant principle of exception handling. You create a system that can handle 95% of the issues on its own. Only the 5% of cases that are truly complex, strategic, or precedent-setting should be escalated to the senior leader. This frees up the leader to focus on the few things that only they can do. And it empowers the junior leaders by giving them real responsibility and a clear sphere of control. It is a complete, elegant, and scalable system. It creates efficiency. It develops new leaders. It prevents burnout. It serves the people better. It is a win-win-win-win situation. The story ends with the final and most important phase of any consulting engagement: implementation. The text says, Moses listened to his father-in-law and did everything he said. He doesn't debate it. He doesn't say he'll think about it. He recognizes the wisdom of the new system and executes the plan. He chooses the men. He appoints them. He empowers them. He escapes the competence trap by building a system of shared leadership. And the result? The next verse says, he sent his father-in-law on his way, and Jethro returned to his own country. Jethro's work was done. He had diagnosed the problem, provided the solution, and seen it implemented. It was a successful engagement. This short, powerful story is a complete blueprint for any leader who is drowning in the success they have created. If you recognize yourself in Moses' predicament, I want you to share this video. It might be the intervention a fellow leader in your network needs to see. So, let's do what we're here to do. Let's extract the protocol. The core principle is this: your value as a leader is not measured by the number of problems you personally solve. It is measured by the quality and scalability of the system you build to solve problems. Your job is not to do all the work. Your job is to build a team that can do the work and then get out of their way. Here is the 3-step Jethro framework for escaping the competence trap and learning to delegate effectively. Step 1. Conduct a task triage. You cannot fix a system you do not understand. For 1 full week, I want you to conduct a ruthless audit of your own time. Get a notebook or a spreadsheet and log every single task you do and every decision you make. Everything. At the end of the week, take that list and categorize every single item into one of 3 buckets. Bucket A, strategic. These are tasks that only you can do. Setting the vision, handling the most complex high-stakes problems, training your key leaders. Bucket B, managerial. These are tasks that a trusted, capable team member could do with the right training and authority. Managing smaller projects, resolving mid-level disputes, preparing reports. Bucket C, operational. These are the routine day-to-day tasks that absolutely must be delegated. Answering basic inquiries, scheduling, data entry, routine problem solving. This triage will give you the hard data you need. You will likely be shocked at how much of your time is spent on bucket B and C tasks. Step 2. Identify and empower your leaders of 10. Based on your audit, your next step is to choose your first tier of new leaders. Look at your team, your family, your organization. Who are the capable, trustworthy people who hate dishonest gain? Start small. Identify one person. Then, take the entire list of tasks from your operational bucket, Bucket C, and delegate it to them. But here is the critical part. You are not just dumping tasks. You are delegating authority. You must have a formal conversation where you say, I am now making you the owner of this area. I trust you to make the decisions. You do not need to ask my permission for these things anymore. You are giving away power. It will feel uncomfortable. It is also the only way to grow. Step 3. Establish clear escalation protocols. Your newly empowered leaders need to know the rules of engagement. They need psychological safety. You must provide it by defining what to do when they encounter a problem they can't solve. Co-create a simple, one-page document that defines the escalation path. What is a simple case that they should handle on their own? At what specific threshold does a problem become a difficult case that needs to be brought to you? For example, any customer complaint under $500 you are authorized to resolve as you see fit. Anything over that, bring to me with your recommended solution. This protocol removes ambiguity. It empowers them to act, and it protects your time for the truly strategic issues. Let's recap the framework. 1. Conduct a ruthless task triage to get the data. 2. Identify and empower your first tier of leaders. 3. Establish crystal clear escalation protocols. That is the system. It is the only way to scale your impact beyond the limits of your own time and energy. It is the only way to move from being a doer to being a leader. Your competence got you to where you are, but it will not get you to the next level. The skills that made you a successful performer are different from the skills that make you a successful leader. The Jethro principle is the bridge between the two. So, here is your immediate action item. Forget the full week. Just for the next 24 hours, start your task triage log. Keep a simple note on your phone or on a piece of paper, and just write down every task you handle. That simple act of data collection is the first step out of the trap. It is the first step toward building a system that serves you instead of one that consumes you.